YouTube. I'm David with the David West channel. Well, today I want to make up some Yucca cordage. And I got these 4 leaves, and I'll strip the fibers out with a tablespoon. I've got other videos on my channel that shows how to do this, but I also want to play around with the time lapse some today. I'd love to see, it's such a long process to extract all these fibers and then to reverse wrap them into cordage, but I think it'll look pretty cool on time lapse if I can get the right angle. So we'll do that. I want to use that cordage for a handheld bowstring. And of course this isn't the handheld. With that Yucca cordage, we'll have a knot on the one side, stick it in here, and then we'll wrap the excess around our fingers, and we'll bow like that. Once we get the spindle in here, then I'll bear against my leg and tighten it down. But that's not all. So I'd like to make that bow drill friction fire with the Yucca cordage, and then I want to take the Yucca cordage apart and use it for a Rudiger roll. So we got a lot to do. Let's get started. All right, let me show you a little bit here just to get started how beautifully a tablespoon works for removing the pulp and exposing the fibers. Those are good looking fibers right there. Makes great cordage too. All right, at this stage, I like to take them and rinse that soapiness off of them. So I rinse Yucca fibers off before I fire roll them, and I rinse that soapiness off before I make cordage. So let me go rinse them off and I'll be right back. All right. All rinsed off. Let's go for about half of this bundle. And I think I'll split all of them sort of down the middle. Like this one is still a little bit thicker than the other one. We'll do the best we can. We start about a third of the way. And I have reverse wrap videos, and there's a lot better ones online than what I can show. Now a lot of people just take a twist at one time and wrap it over. And do the whole thing. One wrap, one twist, and roll it over. I twist this side as much as I think it takes for it to get tight. But it seems like the people that just do one twist and over, one twist and over, it seems like their cordage comes out more even looking. So all I can tell you is my cordage is strong and it lasts a long time. I can get I can use it for bow drill, bowstring, and use it for many embers before it comes apart. So let's go ahead and splice in a piece right here. Pretty furry, isn't it? My experience with Yucca bowstrings in the past, these things last and last and last. So let me go get one of my sets and we'll try it out. I guess I can show you me stringing up the bow. Put a double wrap knot. I think it's called a figure 8 knot. And it'll go right in the tip, right here. And then we'll wrap this part. I'll put this knot, and I might even stick a little toggle in there and stick it in between these two fingers, and I'm ready to go. Let me go pick out a set and we'll start back here in a little bit. We'll be using, I think this is, yeah, this American Beach. And this is red maple. Kind of waiting for the air conditioner to cut off, but I'm running out of light, so let me tell you what I just been through. I tried 3 times with the American Beach on red maple. Then I wet my cord down and I tried 2 times with poplar on red maple. Got my bowstring all muddy, so I washed my bowstring off and broke out my best set, which would have been Privet on Privet, but I couldn't find a Privet fireboard. So this is going to be a Privet spindle on, and this is American Beach. And using the Fatwood Barren block. Leaves for tinder. This is my best set. If this one doesn't produce, I don't know what's going on. Is put a double wrap on my fingers. that. And then a double wrap on the spindle. When I push that part of the bow against my leg, it tightens it up. Let's try that. This is my best set, it ought to work. Privet on American Beach, Fatwood bearing block, leaves for tender. Now you want to bow at a downward angle so that the cordage won't rub on itself and destroy itself. It looks like we finally got an ember on our 6th try. Main thing is, how is this bowstring holding up? And this is more or less the working area right here in the center. It's a little frayed, but it's still very, very strong. So I'm going to take and cut about 1/3 of this off and break it down into the finest fibers I can get and fire roll it. Yucca fibers are very good for the fire roll. One of the easier fibers to use. Bearing block. Good night, it didn't even hardly phase the end of that spindle, that Fatwood bearing block. A nice, well coalesced ember. Let's try our leaves out. I always like to try to cover it up just a little bit. Finally, the AC cuts off. Those leaves are still not completely dried out yet, so you'll have to baby them until they get good and crispy. About a third of this will be sufficient for enough fibers. So I want to cut the fat end off. And we'll start taking it apart, and I'll start breaking it down, and maybe we can get the fire roll done before we completely run out of light today. Right. That's what I'm talking about. You'll have your best success if you break fibers down into their smallest form. That should work nicely. Let's give it a try. First, I want to saturate all the fibers with ashes. Then I'll put some ashes on about half of it. And roll it up as tight as I can get it. It's going to take a lot of work to roll something that big. That's what we got to work with, so let's just get started on it.
If you don't see smoke, go back and roll it some more.
Finally. Now there was some moisture in those fibers from where that bowstring was damp, so I had to overcome it too. Alright, y'all. Let me go get that bowstring. And here's our bowstring. Believe it or not, this little old 16 inches would be enough for me to use on the handheld bowstring friction fire again. So, Yucca fibers, you can't beat them. They're incredibly strong, and then you can also break them down. Incredibly strong for tying, for bow drill, for anything you need strong cordage for. And then you can break them down and use them on the Rudiger rolls. So I love the Yucca plant, the Yucca fibers, the Yucca cordage. Thanks for joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.